What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's video. Last video, I showed the trailer, my new trailer, my car hauler, toy hauler, camper trailer, whatever you want to call it. 20 feet of car space and the whole camper inside here, so pretty cool. But one issue, main issue with this trailer, actually the only issue really, is this giant hump back here, which is kind of hard to see, but from 4 feet back, it drops like 5 inches, almost 6 inches at the back, which is crazy. So that giant hump creates a lot of problems for all my cars because they're all way too low and they all get beached on that, so that's an issue. Today what I'm gonna be doing is basically remove all this diamond plate stuff, then go ahead and start ripping up the carpet, take some of the trim off, whatever, and basically get the plywood that's actually the floor and remove it so we can basically see all of the crossbars and all of the frame rail and framework and all that stuff. That's pretty much as far as I'm gonna go, and then I'm gonna hand it off to my buddy. Is a really good fabricator. He does a lot of like heavy duty like farm equipment, trailers, you know, stuff like this. So he's gonna take care of it. It's really hard to explain. Once I get this all taken out, I can show it and it'll make a lot more sense. But we're gonna be basically cutting much easier slope of an angle into the frame rail and then putting the floor back down on top of that and moving some things around just to basically flatten out that whole entire hip there and then make it in one nice gradual slope out to the door. And then I also have some modifications planned for the door, but right now this is the main issue. I can use wood planks and stuff out there for the S15 to get it in here, not a big deal, but this part in here is a massive deal. So I want to get this taken care of and then we'll go from there. So I'm gonna start right now tearing up all this stuff, bunch of screws. Not gonna be fun, but we're gonna get to it. That was a bunch of screws. Got the centerpiece right out, and these are ready to come out, except the D-rings are actually overlapping them. So I'm just gonna leave that for now. Obviously those will come out once I get the D-rings out, but I don't really feel like crawling out of the trailer right now. So I'm gonna continue back here because I think what we're gonna do is end up coming back to almost the wheel wells here. I'm gonna come all the way back here. It looks like the piece is separated here. So I take that trim off, that trim, and then all the trim along the side. And then we'll be able to hopefully rip the carpet up, no problem. And we'll see what is holding the plywood to the frame, which should just be more screws. But anyways, I'm gonna skip ahead and hopefully all that aluminum stuff is gone. Okay, there we go. So got everything out. I had to go underneath, get the D-rings. They were kind of a pain. I had to end up welding the carriage bolt to the actual like D-ring bracket because they weren't coming out, they were just spinning. But other than that, all the aluminum and everything is up. I think what I'm gonna actually have to do is like redo this entire floor. I think I'm gonna have to tear all this back up, which isn't really that big of a deal because I wanted to get this out of here and the toolbox as well. I have to undo the winch, which is kind of a pain, and then all the trim. But for now, I'm just gonna cut it probably at these wheel wells straight across, get that out, and then we'll see how the plywood is fastened. Start unbolting, unscrewing whatever the plywood, and then hopefully we'll see some frame rails in here. So after struggling, I finally got all the carpet up. I just made a straight line here in the wheel well. This was already like so much of a pain, so I'm just gonna end it there. And I just went far enough so you can see the seam of the wood is there. So we're gonna take this piece up, this little piece, and then this big piece as well. The unfortunate part is the glue that they use to hold the carpet down, it's really like thick and they really like pour it on there. So you can see that it's filled in all the holes for the screws. So now you gotta kind of go around, fish out where they are, poke them out with a little tiny screwdriver, then you can get the screw out. So it's gonna take a really long time and it's kind of unfortunate, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and we'll get it. It's just gonna take a lot longer than I thought. Actually got a lot of progress done yesterday, trying to go around and find the heads to the screws. It's taking forever. I couldn't find some and it was just taking way too long. So what I did was when I got a big, huge crowbar and just basically started lifting the wood and just popping the wood through the screws. It actually worked pretty good, like a lot faster than what I was doing before, but probably gonna need new plywood because it started splitting like on the bottom side, started basically busting the plywood and whatever out. So I'm probably gonna have to buy new plywood, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal. It's like probably like 3 sheets I'll have to buy. It's not a big deal, but whatever. Now I'm just gonna get this last one up and then we're going to take it to my buddy Rob and basically drop it off there. And it kind of sucks. I wish I could do it myself, but I don't really have the means here. I'm right beside houses. There's neighbors all over the place, and I'm not really gonna be grinding metal like day and night out here. It's easier just to give it to somebody that actually knows what they're doing and has a lot of experience with heavy fabrication, stuff like this. So get it done right, and then it should be good. Then we'll get it back, and it'll basically be an open frame again, and we'll just have to put new wood down. Hopefully the car will fit in here. If not, we failed, and waste of money, but I think it'd be okay. I think it'd be fine. It makes a lot of sense what we're doing, so it should be good. Like I said, I'm just gonna get this last piece up and then we'll be good. Okay, so I got the trailer completely stripped out. The plywood was a bit of a pain, but ended up figuring it out. I used a big long crowbar, and then when I couldn't reach the crowbar anymore, I went underneath with a jack and a 4x4 and kind of jacked up on the wood and just popped it out because I couldn't see any of the screws. But we got that all done. I dropped the trailer off to my buddy Rob in Tilbury, which is like 45 minutes away, not very far. He's a really good fabricator, and he's who I was talking to about this from the beginning. So I dropped it off Sunday like night, so he started first thing Monday morning. It's Wednesday now after work, and he's all done. It's all painted. Looks awesome. He's been sending me pictures and stuff the whole time. We're gonna go see it, and yeah, once we get back here, we'll check it out. Now it's like a week later because we went camping and stuff. So I just set the old wood and stuff in here just so like the floor is not wide open and I don't know, like raccoons and cats and stuff can get in here. So I'm gonna take all this stuff out and then we're gonna take a look at the framework. I realized I completely forgot to like do a close-up, like show you guys what it actually looked like before, which I really regret, but now I'll be able to show you how it is and then I'll kind of explain how it was and what we changed. All right, so here is what we have, which is way better than what there was from the factory. Now, like I said, I wanted to do a video showing what it was before, but I completely forgot. So right here at this seam was the entire like dovetail. So that's where the entire slope was up to here. You can actually see it, how high it was right here. And it went all the way down to there. So what we did, well, I didn't do it. Rob did it. But what we did was basically cut all of this out except for these two rails here. So then what he did was do a chalk line from that end all the way up to there where we were not going to mess with it because we don't want to get into like the main frame of the trailer. This is basically just like an extension for the car part behind the axles. This is way better though. Everything on the old framework was basically just like C channels, and same with this. He also had to cap all this in because it was all wide open, and yeah, all this is now solid tube all the way through. He doubled it up here and then doubled it up here underneath too, so it's like way stronger. Also did some cross braces here, which the other trailer did not have at all. It just had basically the side to side, didn't have any angles on it whatsoever. And he also rebuilt my D-ring plates because they were all rotten, so he built new ones of those, so it's all good to go. And then he put this nice thick flat stock on the edges, so that way when I go do some E-track, it'd be nice and good there. Obviously I'll have to add stuff, you know, in the front when I go do that, but overall I'm super stoked. This is like perfect. I didn't expect it to actually be this nice. Not that I didn't believe in him, but like it's, I don't know, it's just way nicer than I thought. He painted it all, like it's sick. It's really hard to tell like the angle, but he said this compared to what was here before as far as angle goes, this is 20% less of like an incline. So I don't know what the original number was and what it is now, but he said 20 degrees less. So 20 degrees? Yeah, 20 degrees, not 20%. It's actually 20 degrees less, which is crazy because a 45 is half a 90. So a 20 is, you know, pretty aggressive. And this is 20 less than what it was. So this is way better. Yeah, so now that we got this all done, I went and bought new plywood. This stuff is actually chipboard. I wanted to replace it with the same stuff, but I couldn't actually find any in 3/4 inch. So I get 3/4 inch regular plywood. It was stupid expensive. It was like 250 bucks for 3 sheets. So now we're gonna bring it in here and start measuring everything up. And I know I'm gonna have to do a little bit of a notch here where this ends basically, and then it'll go over top of that and then right back into here just like I did before. I'm hoping tonight that I can at least get the wood out here and set up and kind of like look at it. Kind of had a little bit of an idea because I had the old stuff laying in here, but it looks like it's gonna be like pretty much smooth, which is sick. So then once I do this, I am gonna have to modify the ramp door, which I knew, and I was planning on it anyways, but yeah, now this is actually more gradual than that. So like the trailer floor comes out and then the ramp goes like down. So you have to do some modifications to that, but not a big deal. They make stuff for that and I can just basically buy stuff and bolt it on. Anyways, I'm quit talking. We'll get the wood and start laying it out and see what we got. I'm stoked though. I can't wait to get the BMW in here. I think it'll actually be less cutting to do it this way. So I've got it marked out where I'm gonna have to notch it just like barely like 1/4 of an inch on each side just to get around this little frame rail. And then the next piece, all I have to do is basically cut a 1/2 inch off of like one end and then it'll just fit in there perfectly. And then the last piece will be a little bit tricky. I'm gonna have to like locate the D-rings and go around those jack stand things. And then also, what I'm gonna have to do, because these aren't perfectly like 4 feet apart, I'm gonna have to slice a little bit off the end. I'm just gonna have to measure it, probably be about 1/2 inch or whatever, not a big deal. Take this back out, cut those little pieces off, and we'll try and fit it back in here. That took way too long. I'm not very good at woodworking skills and stuff, but it looks like we got a pretty decent line down here, and then we got the notch cut out there on both sides. Not too shabby. It should fit now. FRS kind of took some damage, but now my thinking is the next sheet, all I'm gonna have to do is cut whatever this is ×2 off of one end, and then we can just lay it right in there and it'll be fine. Well, I did not film anything. The self-tappers that I got are terrible. They're just from Home Depot, and the metal of the frame is like so thick and hard, I guess. Like it's just, they're self-tappers, but I've been like having to pre-drill them, and even then it's like snapping the bolts, and it's a huge pain. So anyways, I got one piece down, and then I just cut the second piece, which is super easy. Now I'm gonna start screwing this one down, and then tomorrow, because you can't tell but it's dark outside, I'll cut this piece. It's gonna be a little bit of a pain because I'm gonna have to cut holes for the D-rings to go in here, and then also cut around those jack parts there, and then obviously just the measurement, but that'll be tomorrow. I'm hoping today I can get this part screwed down and this will be pretty much done, and this is pretty much what it's gonna look like. So it's hard to like tell on video or pictures or anything, but I don't know, like there's still obviously like a bit of a slope because it has to go down, and the trailer is really high. It's got a really tall frame, and yeah, so it's gonna, you know, naturally do that, but it's just, I don't know, I just keep saying the same thing, but instead of coming from right here and straight down, it's all the way from back there, so it's more gradual. And then right here, there's like a bit of a hump, but I think it's gonna be fine. And I'm stoked. This looks better than I thought it was gonna be. Worst case scenario, which I don't think I'm gonna have to do, but maybe for the S15 to be in here with the body kit on, I might have to get some like longer-ish or build some sort of ramps here, just so like the front wheels basically continue off of this hump here. Most of the car's back here, but the front wheels and stuff, the whole front end of the car probably ends like about here. So I could have like a, you know, 2 or 3 foot ramp. It would be fine, but hopefully I'm not gonna have to do that. I'm sure the BMW and everything else will get in here, no problem, just the S15. So I'm gonna keep going. I just get this piece done, and then we'll probably pick it up tomorrow when I'm working on the last piece. Okay, so these 2 pieces, fully screwed down, cut, everything's good, those are solid. Now I'm working on the back piece with the D-rings in them. So I got the piece all trimmed out as far as around those little jacks in the corners. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. So now what I did was I just went underneath the trailer, actually used the holes, marked the holes, then centered these basically like plates on there, traced it out. Now we're gonna cut that out with a jigsaw, hopefully these will drop down in and everything will be good. You drop that piece of wood in, screw it in, and the floor will pretty much be done for now. Obviously, I'm gonna do something in here. I still have to figure out what I'm gonna do because I have to rip up all this stuff in here. I don't wanna have half, you know, crap and half brand new. So I'm just gonna redo the whole thing. I just really haven't figured it out yet. I just need to get the floor done. That way I can get a car in here and we can haul the S15 to the stuff that we have to do in like 2 weeks. Keep going, get that piece done, get it in. And then I think I wanna try and pull the trailer out a little bit and get the BMW in here just for reference, because we know that it didn't fit before. So there we go. Piece went in, no problem. The only one issue I'm having is the D-rings are a little bit lower, like the plates are a little bit lower than the wood is. And I don't really want to put them in and then tighten these all down and have it like bow the wood. So I'm gonna have to make up a little plate, basically a spacer, which is not a huge deal at all. From that way when I'm tightening it, it's just solid on that and not pulling down on the wood. But other than that, everything's fine. Like I said, the cuts aren't like perfect around here, but I pulled the trailer out. Now, this is the next issue, is gonna be this giant hole when the doors open, but we're gonna worry about that later. Use some 2x4s for now and try to get the BMW in here. Hi. All right, so we made it in. That's pretty successful. Car didn't fall through. That's good. Car didn't, you know, bottom out or anything. It is, I guess you can't really tell. There's like, I don't know. It's like a few inches now before the bottom out, which is crazy because before it was bottoming out and like on it. So we gained like a few inches. I was pretty sure the BMW was gonna be able to fit in here, which is really good. But the main thing is gonna be the S15, which that'll be the real test, but I'm not gonna be able to do that today. We got people coming over and I can't pull everything out of the garage and mess around like that. But this is a big deal. This is huge. So yeah, you can see under there, we got quite a bit of room actually, like probably 2 to 3 inches up at the front, which is huge because that was where it was like catching up and it would not go anymore. But obviously it was way back here, not way up there. But now the main thing is back here. You can see pretty clearly, like, that is a huge difference. I'm not sure why they've made it like this. My other trailer wasn't like this at all, and this gap in here is massive as well. So I'm definitely gonna have to raise this. This is good though. I'm stoked. At least the car fits in here, and now I can work on getting the S15 in here. Okay, so now that we know the BMW will go in, which is not a surprise, but there was a lot of room, a lot of space below it still, so that's good. Next thing is the S15. We're coming up, we're getting really close to LZ World Tour. We're packing up. So I'm planning tonight, it's Wednesday, we're gonna get the car in the trailer, hopefully. And then I'm just gonna leave it in the trailer and pack everything around it. So I've already taken the whole body kit off because I know that it's not gonna go in with the body kit on for sure. So we're gonna see how this goes. Anyways, get it out there. And I'm thinking I might winch it because I have a winch and I can just take it really slow and watch everything while it's happening. So I might do that. But anyways, we're gonna get it outside and line it up, get the trailer open up, and then try and pull it in. Okay, so currently the sway bar and like the power braces underneath the front are gonna hit. So what I did was take a 2x4 from each side, put it long ways. Hopefully that will get it up enough. And then I really think the pinch welds are gonna hit once I get the front end up here, because this is so steep. This is now the issue, but I knew that. So I'm gonna use the winch now, that way I can just go nice and slow and just hook it up and just basically watch what's going on and not have to be in the car. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Okay, so I tried these 2x4s, but that wasn't long enough. The exhaust was catching the edge, like right as the wheel got up to it. So what I did was I just took the 2x6s out from under the bottom, and now we're just gonna try that. Hopefully that works. If not, I really don't know. We'll figure something out, but hopefully it goes up there. And then I'm a little bit worried about the hump up there. I might need to, like, once the car's off this, put these up there again, because I think that it might bottom out of the pinch weld up there, but we'll find out. It made it, and it's hard to see. I don't know if you can see on GoPro, but the pinch welds, which is what I was completely worried about, are probably 1.5 to maybe 2 inches from the wood. The issue now is the exhaust, which I knew was an issue because every time I try and pull this thing out of the garage and into the driveway, it's just completely dragging and like grating the driveway. So that's going to be on the list thing. Basically, it's got a bunch of like cats and a resonator and whatever up there. So obviously I need to get rid of all that. Probably put like a straight pipe on it. It's just whatever. But yeah, we got lots of room in here. I've got it pulled up pretty far. I could probably let it go back a little bit, but I just wanted to make sure that it was never going to hit this little bit of a hump that we have here, and it doesn't. So we can take a look here. Well, I guess it's actually a little bit closer than I thought. I can just fit my finger next to it, but I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, the side skirts are like almost perfectly level with the pinch weld, maybe even like a tad bit higher than the pinch weld, because the Varietta, for whatever reason, well, for strength, they put a massive pinch weld on it. It's like 2 inches tall, so that's a limiting factor. But I think that the side skirts could probably go on. I might try that. That way I can just have them on here. I don't have to wrap them up, worry about bouncing around in the truck and all that. But obviously can't put the front bumper on, can't put the rear diffuser on, because when I go to tie it down, it's got to come straight from the wheel back. So my bumper will be there. So I'll have to wrap those, but if I can get the side skirts in here, that's 2 like big pieces that I don't have to pack away in the truck. And while we're driving and whatever, it's like always in the back of my head, like not to scratch them. But anyways, super happy about that. That's sick. So today's Wednesday. Friday after work, we're leaving. We're going to Cayuga to the LZ World Tour, so that's gonna be sick. Hopefully we'll see you there. You can come check the car out. Finally, like, it's not local, but like it's only 3 hours away, but like a lot of the local people, my friends and stuff, are going, so it'd be super cool to see everyone and show everybody the car, because nobody's really seen it. I brought it to Florida and I brought it to like Toronto Import Fest, and that's pretty much it. So we'll do this. Then after that, we're gonna load everything back up Sunday night, come home, sleep. Then Monday morning we're taking off again, and we're going to Tennessee because we're going to Gap. So that's gonna be pretty cool. I've never experienced it. I'm pretty excited. So this was a big deal to get the car in, because like we don't have much time to figure it out, but ended up working out. I could probably use a couple more 2x6s so I don't have to switch from outside to on the ramp, but it's minor details. Obviously I want to fix the ramp, and like I said, I want to make it so I can get the car in here with the whole body kit on. I kind of have that like under control. I have to have the time to do it, and I just don't have time to do it right now. So the wood is gonna have to deal. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. Hopefully you enjoy watching, and hopefully you can come see the car. It would be sick if you could. And yeah, let me know what you think about the trailer, about the car. Floor worked out, everything's good. I guess money well spent. It was a lot of money, but totally worth it, because there's no way this was gonna make it in here without doing that. So we had to do it, and worked out. So that's gonna do it for this one. I'll see you in the next one.